Ladies and gentlemen, karibu kwa another exciting episode ya Man, Culture and Arts aka MCA. Hapa tunasemanga let the man talk with your host Vincent Muremi. Today we are privileged to host two other gentlemen with a very intriguing perspective. But before tuingie kwa the gentlemen, just a polite reminder, tumefungua segment ingine inaitwa stories za show. Hapo kwa MCA podcast hapo ukiangalia kuna two story hapo to 5 minutes tunakupigia ni oral narrative ya kisasa based on zile show alikuwa ananichapia. So kindly watch, subscribe kama kawaida tafadhali. It's very unfair, 61% of the viewers wa MCA podcast hawaja subscribe. Are you among them? Please tupatie hiyo subscription, like, watch and share. Karibu na asante kwa kuendelea kutusupport. Gentlemen.
Yes.
Yep. Muko namna gani?
Uko fiti, mimi niko poa.
Uko bie?
Niko bie.
Ramon?
Yes.
Tourist namna gani bana?
Kutembea bana.
Icheo ilipewa Rebecca Miano, ungepigwa hiyo ya CS wa tourism.
Mbaya sana.
Unaka inakufaa. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
To the MCA podcast. Hapa sisi ujiongea. Juu tulisema the main challenge mwanaume anapitia ni hana space ya kujiongea. Na hata kama akona space, hakuna hiyo environment ya kujiongea. Is it something that you find relevant?
Really true, cause we go through a lot of things. Alafu kuna ile ego mwanaume yako nayo.
Kabisa.
Unashindwa nafaa kusema hii kitu ama ni mimi peke yangu napitia au wataniona niko dunia yangu. Coming to find out is like every man goes through a lot. Tukipata tu chance ya kuongea and to the right people, you can get help here and there.
Sure. Hata last episode tulikuwa na jamaa anaitwa Shomba, an advocate of the High Court, alituambia usiogope. It's no longer shame for a man to speak out.
Yes.
Just know who to tell. By the way, hiyo ndio another challenge. Kiriaimiti.
Yes.
For those who might not have interacted with you before, is a voice coach, is a music teacher, music composer, music trainer, everything to do with music. And you being here, it's music to our ears. Karibu sana.
Yeah, to do that. Thank you so much for having me. Of course, it's a great honor.
Sure.
I personally have a soft heart for men because, as you have said, previously we really didn't have both space and environment. So there have been a few efforts by a few individuals, and sadly some of those efforts are by women.
Yeah.
It's just like having, kama kusema siku hizi Nissan nyingi ni Toyota. You know?
Kuna M-Pesa ya Airtel.
Kuna M-Pesa ya Airtel ama Blueband ya Prestige. Simply because now unapata even our fellow men are not into saving or salvaging their fellow men.
Oh yes.
So I can say there have been efforts by a few people, but the damage that has been there is really extensive. So lazima tuongeze bidii, salvaging the man and making sure that the man has the right standing in the society that we are living. So I think MCA is just an idea at the right time.
Oh yes.
That we are going to salvage our men. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be here.
Karibu sana. And let's start from unajua people don't know actually Kiriaimiti was supposed to be our first guest. Yes, you are. According to our structure yenye tumechora.
Yeah.
But God's timing, they usually say it's the best. Kwa sababu the reason nasema you are supposed to be our first guest, you are an inspiration to this podcast. We used to share stories of kile men wanapitia, especially in the community that we come from, Mbere community.
Yes.
Could you kindly paint a picture to the audience, especially history ya watu pale kwetu wenye wanauza mogoka nini, you are the man of the house. Actually, I was telling Ramon, leo tunajiuliza, are you really the man of the house or you are just manning the house? So yeah, kuna hiyo story tulikuwa tunachapa sometimes back.
Actually, it's true. That's a legit observation. And it emanated from one morning when I spoke to a person gave me a lift to town, and he happens to be a board member in a neighboring primary school.
Yeah, sure.
And then he observed that when parents are called for a meeting, it's actually the women who.
Oh yes.
It's only the women who are actually showing
Kabisa.
up. And so we picked up a conversation, and there's an observation I had made, especially in the local Umira selling center. That
can we tell the audience the name of those centers?
Absolutely no. I mean,
Kaulero.
actually there are few if you observe, like if you are taking if you're moving like probably from Chicago to Kiriaimiti, there are several buying centers. If you're going to this other side, Muraro, you'll observe that much as the men are the one who own the shamba, the crop, and the woman. You know, the man owns those three.
Yeah.
He owns the shamba,
The crop
woman,
itself.
the crop, and the title of the shamba, the four things.
Yeah.
But then the person who is actually running the business, the person who is knowing how much the crop is costing per kg, you find is actually the woman. So
maybe she is more qualified. Ama what dynamics zikafanya is the woman running the business?
But then there is nothing like universal qualification. Qualification is on individual basis. So it can't be that in a locality, majority of the men are not qualified and majority of the women are qualified.
Yes.
That just places. If you tie that alongside that other string of only women attending a school meeting, and the men are not dead.
Oh yes.
You realize there must be a problem. And then that also ties to another aspect. When these men age, like you hit 70 or 70-something, for example, they are condemned to being watchmen in the shopping center or in the local primary schools.
So all your life, retirement yako ni kwenda kukua oji?
You push to the backyard.
How many schools do you have for you to accommodate all these men?
To an extent, Vincent, if there is an emergency in the villages and a scream is done and people ought to go out to fight, I can bet with you, women are going to chapel.
Hold on, kabla utueleze that observation where it emanated from. Ramon, for our viewer, Ramon is an artist, urban music artist. Ni mnoma, ni mdeadly. Hawa ni wale wana release ngopa. He is a rapper, he sings, and he is a songwriter. So karibu sana. Ukiona ma bling bling jua tuko na the king of bling bling sama. Umesema agodhe tena.
Godha tena.
Ramon, kwa experience yako.
Yes.
Really, mwanaume kweli bado yeye ndio man of the house ama ni watchman kwa primary school?
Hiyo trend imekuja mpaka to this our generation. Yes, women have found their way up. Wanataka kurule na ubaya. It's even affecting the houses. You know, from the workplaces going to the houses, they all they realize they have the power to, be like a man or more like a man. There's this saying I go by that I don't want a woman who can do what I can do. I want a woman who can do exactly opposite of what I can't do. You get? So instead of them trying to help us live in this society, they want to rule over us, watukalie.
Nitapeana disclaimer. We are not saying every other woman. There is a percentage that does that.
Yes.
Hiyo nitapeana disclaimer. Na it does not mean a woman having power is a problem.
It's not a problem.
It is now the utilization of this power, how ina relate kwa hii how. As I was telling you guys earlier, nili interact na a psychologist who happens to be a clinician. And one thing I gathered is men, kwa sababu audience yetu mingi ni ya 25 to 40, tukiwa tumeenda on the highest end.
Yes.
Ukimaliza campus hii miaka ya 23, 24, there's a lot of hope. Umetoka kwa relationships zenye ziko tuseme supported na mzazi.
Yeah.
Juu ile chipo unamnulia ni fair yenye ulipewa na mzazi na ni. There's a lot of hope there. But now when the man hits 28, mambo inaanza kuget real. Mambo inaanza kuchemka. Ule mtu alikuwa na kuchekesha juu you can afford a chipo. Sai kama wale watu wanafanyanga kamnyweso, kama huwezi fanya matel ama nini, you can't tell her. So what the doc was telling me, at the age of 28 to 30 ni the realization age, vitu zinachomeka. Alafu most of that age group, there's a very high rate of separation. Hatuwezi ita divorces. Juu ni wangapi mko na marriage certificate mkono juu? Hakuna. Ni separation. Yeah. Is it the same story na the power you are saying? Power dynamics?
That as a man you need to work hard, you know, to provide. And these women are working as hard as we are. So always sustain that kind of lady. And she has dreams, she has ambitions, she wants to do more. Quality, okay. So atakukalia one way or another. It will be a rough situation because for a man sometimes
Hey.
Maybe job is vizuri, don't have the hustle, and the woman is there. Somehow, maybe in some situations, women are, as you said, atakukalia one way or another. It will be a rough situation because for a man sometimes kuna kufinywa. Maybe job ijenda vizuri, you don't have the hustle, and the woman is there. Somehow maybe in some situations women are, as you said, wanapata opportunities haraka more than us men. Like it's crazy. So wanatukalia proper.
Just to want on that, Mr. Vincent. Ukiangalia hata some job adverts, kwanza za Ngava. Unaona hapo chini pameandikwa women and people living with disabilities are encouraged to apply. Like unaona sasa mahali woman amewekwa. Amewekwa in a special category group. Actually they are called special category group.
Affirmative. Yeah, sure.
Sasa unaona mumeenda kufanya interview na msichana. Na tayari pale chini kuna already a disclaimer down there that women and people living with disability
are encouraged
to apply.
So that's an added advantage already.
Sasa already the fact that hiyo ni kumaanisha yani the fact that yeye ni woman already kuna maybe 5 marks ahead. I mean kuna vile
there's an advantage.
So unaona there is just that added advantage, you know.
Mr. Kiriaimiti, before hata tuendelee na history ya Ramon, turudi pale from Mogoka selling community. And from where I come from, as you said, mwanaume ana own everything, wewe ndio unalimia, wewe ndio unatafuta dawa, wewe ndio kila kitu, but when it comes to time ya kuuza, unaambiwa bro, kaa kando. As in, what has contributed to this?
In fact, even I doubt whether that it is somebody who has told them wakae kando. It looks like just wamejipata tu. Unaona, tunaweza kusema ni kitu cumulative. It has not just happened. It is something that has been gradually happening. Only that now it's at its like manifestation level. Ukiangalia kule nyuma kuna vile tulianzanga stories za girl child empowerment.
Yeah, sure.
Unaona sasa how girl child tulikuwa tunazungumzia in the 80s and after the Beijing whatever
conference, yeah.
Sasa how girl children ndio ngao women sai. Sasa ndio sasa wako kwa the action itself. Unaona? So ni kitu imekuwa tu cumulative. Na pia kuna vile sasa there have been more weapons of mass destruction against men than any other time, especially tunaitanga Cold War.
Kwanza nitarudi hapo kwa Cold War because most men have realized they withdraw nowadays.
Yes.
Kitambo, okay, let me say this story nasikianga from my father and my uncles. They used to discipline women na viboko na nini. That's how they used to manifest the anger. That time the girl child was not empowered. They held so much power.
Yes.
But now on the reverse, wale wanaume wengi, they are just withdrawing. Utaongea kwa hiyo nyumba, juu ukiongea unaweza itiwa hata chief, unaweza itiwa fida. Actually kitu ili happen jana ama ni juzi. I think ni jana. These activists wakaenda demonstration kupeleka petition ya wale watu waliuawa during the demonstration to the office of the president. And kama kawaida mapolisi wa Kenya, they clobbered them. Boniface Mwangi, you know Boniface Mwangi amewekwa kwa ground na makarao wanataka kumshika. It's women kina Hanifa ndio walienda kumrescue. Then someone asks, mbona hao wanaume wako hapo kando? They are just watching when women wameenda kusaidia Boni. Mudu akawaambia, I swear ingekuwa ni mwanaume ameenda kurescue Boni hivi, singekuwa na rungu za kichwa ama risasi.
It's more of like a universal and fair ground that men are playing in. So no, I was talking about that accumulation of that empowerment. Now we are living in that reality.
Yes.
And because there is so much against the man, so men would rather withdraw. You know the song "The Count of the Country."
Yes.
You don't have to fight to be a man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they just walk out and now find solace in other things, and that's how actually we are at the verge of just losing the man.
They find solace in other things. Ramon,
Yes.
allow me to say this on air. Uliacha kukunywa pombe.
Yes.
You used to drink. Kuna story ulikuwa unanipea ile hakubaiwa tei, ukiitiwa tei hata kama mahali umeitwa fare ni mingi kuliko the actual price of the alcohol. Umeenda. Is it interrelated na kitu inakupressure kwa akili?
Yes it is. Kwa sababu you don't feel like as he said to fight, you'll be fighting a losing battle because even the laws itself, they are against you fighting that woman. As you say, discipline in Kitambo, nowadays is not discipline.
Though it's not that it's good to fight,
yes,
whether a woman or a man.
Yes, it's not good. So because that lashing out, unataka to have your peace elsewhere. So you end up being with your boys more, and the boys are where? Izo mashinani, the joints, you know. So you end up not concentrating or being responsible for your own house. You create your own kawal huko nje where you feel hapa there's no this
hakuna hiyo disturbance.
Hakuna, you know. That's how men withdraw themselves.
But unfortunately, according to what we were saying, unfortunately hii kawadu umejikreatia. Pia pale umeenda kuwa bottom of the table.
Yes.
Unaitiwa pombe, itabidi ubaiwe. Juu wenyewe tulifind out in episode fulani hapa na akina Mulipa, if you, kama at home hauko na peace, hata kazi hauwezi pata, hata hasa huwezi piga.
Yes.
So we ni wale wanaume wa kutumwa jacket. Ati ulikuwa unaniambia hauwezi hata itisha chakula mpaka mwenye anabai asikie njaa.
You can imagine hata kwenda home, huwezi enda home kama hajasema it's okay. So if you're feeling sleepy, wewe ukaya hivyo peke yako, it's very risky as a man to live that kind of lifestyle. And as you said, it's just a way of pulling back na kusema no, this is enough. Let me try and figure out how best I can live out of this pressure that I have, that I've maybe created for myself. Because these things, men, to be honest, we've created kwa sababu as a man, even getting into a relationship, you know, you have to really be that man from the word go to the very end. Unaona, take the lead in that house. You said something about being, what did you say about being the man of the house?
Oh, are you the man of the house or you are just manning the house?
Exactly. So nowadays, kwanza hii generation yetu, we do a lot of manning the house. We let the woman control basically everything, from the bills to, you know, because structures are houses nowadays, si kama za kitambo, where, you know, you in the village setting, kwenye, you know, the women are being taught how to respect the man, how to live with the man, so that waendelee. Nowadays we live in apartments in town where nobody cares about you, your neighbor, nobody cares. So ukiishi tu vile unaishi uko kwa hiyo nyumba, you cannot really control most of the aspects in that house. You let the woman do it, and by doing that, you've given her some kind of power that it's very hard to take back.
Now, fantastic. Ramon amesema something interesting. In the village, women are taught how to live with a man. Are men taught how to live with women? Do men have mentors?
Sadly, no.
Sadly, no.
Tumeachia mambo ya counseling kwa Mbogi. Mbogi counseling yao is more of like stories za njaba tu.
Kabisa.
Like, you know, it's very theoretical.
Na kuweka standard ukae wewe ndio mwanaume.
Actually, women may not be kitambo, yes, but that there was a lot of mentoring ladies, wanawake in the past. But present it's not there. However, you know, when they have many forums where they can meet, discuss, analyze, and somehow get some of these advices.
Yes.
Because a woman will clearly say, I mean, mimi mwanaume wangu ni hivi, ila atasema ni hivi. Then kama kuna mtu hapo ako na issues, atasikia hiyo na hiyo combine and maybe know how to behave.
Do you know, sorry to cut you short, I learned just the other day, a lady, before atoke kwa marriage or kwa relationship, all her friends wanakuanga wanajua.
Oh yes.
Wame discuss, wame agree on what to do.
Yes.
Na wewe washajua your problem as the man.
Yes.
Now, reverse that to us men. Me, in my situation, it took even 6 months for people to know. Ninakufia ndani. Watu wanakuambia salimia mama mugani.
I don't even know.
So, goes back to hiyo aspect we are not having conducive space or even the confidence to speak out.
Let me first paint you how different we are. We were getting close for a special occasion in my family. And so my firstborn daughter, who is 13 point, she has this type of a dress she has seen on Pinterest.
Oh yes.
And I'm telling you, they have moved all over town with a woman or two, and they can't find it. There was actually a committee that was formed, a committee of women,
Ya kutafuta
like
this
5 women,
this specific dress.
not just to find to look for it. Now that it wasn't possible, to look for a designer, and to make sure it happens. I joined the shopping spree almost at noon. I only visited two shops.
Oh, yeah, joke.
Shop number 1, I got myself a belt, a tie. Shop number 2, I got every other thing.
Wow,
I have done
wajapata.
from Rudhuri, Taveta to Moi Avenue. And there is a group of women
Oh my
who are
goodness.
working with this young woman as a committee. Actually, I said, oh, one cloth and there's a committee. And there's nothing like, she wouldn't get it, we can't get it. They are making sure she gets exactly what she wants and she appears exactly how she wants to appear. Now, those are women for you. Now, for men, when your plug utaonyeshwa, ukionyeshwa plug ya demim, utaonyeshwa, lazima
Josh ndiye anasupplyingi.
lazima tu uone hapo. So unaona, it just narrows down to, you know, how ourselves as men also relate. You know, if I open up to you,
How do I view you
how
from
do you
today?
view me now?
Yeah.
How do I view from that moment? Actually, you feel you degrade me. If I was 75% man,
Yes.
you drop me down to around, I lose like a certain percentage.
Utakuwa unanipigia simu niko sasa Kiriaimiti zile
Sasa
mashida
ndio naona,
zake.
that way now, that way as men we find we are somehow disadvantaged. We are not ready to really open up, you know. So we have that disadvantage on our side.
Oh my goodness, that story of your daughter has challenged me. Junapanda mimi, I have a son. When we are going to church or something, akona ile anataka kuvaa nguo fulani.
Yes.
But mimi naona saa zetu zimeenda. We chukua hii vaa, tuende. So I don't give him that opportunity of him being himself and expressing himself to me and being comfortable. Juu next time atakuwa kiangalia yeye kuchelewa as opposed to what he is comfortable in it.
So
Ramon, you are the youngest father.
Yes.
Unasikia aje hiyo maneno?
It is crazy. Na nimesha experience like for my daughter's first birthday this year. About the dress. Na ni 1 year old.
1 year.
The mother saw the dress online. Amesha form committee of women. My mom, her mom, aunties, cousins. They want that specific dress.
We must get this.
Yes, and the color has to be,
plan.
you know. Ilibidi we look for a tailor.
And yes, Jaguar
And the
father
tailor
to a
did-
daughter.
The tailor, if you see that photo, is very interesting because I love that photo. It is the dress was because alitengenezewa the dress that matches my clothes and the mother's clothes. So they were specific about if I was told to go look for that dress because I had other options.
Assume ulikuja sasa ukaniambia ati niko na kazi ya kutafuta dress ya my daughter's birthday. Ningekujibu aje?
Hey manze, hata sijui ningeanzia wapi.
No, tuseme ume open up to me ati hey manze, kuna pressure hapa niko nayo. Nimeambiwa nitafute dress ya my daughter. Ningekwambia acha ujinga bana.
Hapo ni pale unapata exclamation tu ya bro.
Like, are you going to really do that? So, as we are saying, sisi kama men pia a very huge chunk tuna contribute to kufanya our fellow men were not okay to speak. Yes. Evanta is coming back to you because at least you are a person who is dedicated when it comes to faith. I believe so. Ama ninatoa ushuhuda yako na ni uongo.
That testimony is true.
When this podcast went on air, nika-invitiwa Mwendani to speak about it. Kuna chama cha wazee from huku hapa Embu, naitwa Kiriari. The bishop called Jaiwega called me. Kaniambia tunakuanga na similar forum ya wanaume. kindly come, hata the experience, hata ongea na wao kidogo. And there I went, nikapata the youngest man kwa hiyo forum ni kigage ni around 40 years. Kulikuwa nakaa wawili wanakaa 30s. So hadi mimi najiuliza at 33 na advice aji hao wazee na waambia nini? One thing that caught my eye, number one, where are we as young men? Hatutaki kujoin such forums. Number two, hii forum iliformiwa similar to kesi ya huko kwetu na Mera, huko kwetu ni majani.
Okay.
Majani inakontroliwa by the mother and the firstborn. Firstborn anakuweka mangumi, sishazeeka. Wewe utatuambia kitu because kutoka kitambo amekuwa akiambiwa babako wafanyangi, atowangi, aletangi. Dress tulinunua ya first birthday, he was not there. This has culminated to 37 cases of suicide in just 3 villages.
Whoa.
The men, they showed me the data.
Whoa.
Men, where are we? Why are we not willing to join spaces?
We are in spaces, actually. Men are in spaces. Only that they are in spaces that necessarily do not help them cope with their current challenges. I mean, they are in spaces that are, let me say, cosmetic. They are in virtual spaces, spaces that do not really exist in the real world. Because like now when you go to, I don't hate football, but you know, like how men will retreat into, you know,
watching football,
watching and, you know, being
kuna
football
game.
fans, kuna game and all that. So you find for that time they'll be in that space, they'll be feeling okay. But when the final whistle is blown,
yeah,
and there's no other match,
Yes.
they go back to the reality. That yes, I'm going back to that house. Actually, we had a problem when I left. I'm going to find the same people. I'm going to find the same challenge. So if in between that place and the actual environment, they get a way out, they will actually divert.
They will divert.
Unfortunately, that gap keeps narrowing until now they are cornered. To an extent, the only thing they find that works for them is actually suicide. So the truth is, as men, we have actually to swallow the pride and join those spaces, actual spaces, where real things actually are being discussed and where people are just genuine and open to themselves. But again, this all narrows down to, like if I ask you, how many friends do you have?
I guess wote wako kwa hii space.
A lot of your friends and a lot of his friends wako kwa hii space.
Yes.
Who is this person when you have real issues? As in,
that I can't share with my wife.
yes, you have, you know, there's like a place you can have a wood. You know, kindonda, ama a swelling. Your place, hata uwezi kuonyesha hata your wife. Who is this
Ama
person?
ikuwa at the cause of the wound.
Yes.
Who is this person actually? As a man, unaweza tolea nguo, like literally. Umwambie bro,
Hapa ndio
kuna
kuna
mahali nimeswell na hii place singeweza hata kuonyesha mtu. You'd be man enough if you have as many of such like my
like your fingers.
10 fingers.
I can only assume one na ni assumption. I'm not sure kama ataniambia.
But look at women, my friend. Kwanza there is this category called girlfriend.
Yes.
My sister is retiring this year. And yesterday when she made a phone call at home, I had to say, hello girlfriend. This lady is going to be retiring. But she has this person who she's calling hello girlfriend. And guess what? We were in a very serious meeting. She did not attend that meeting. She made a phone call with that girlfriend the entire
of the meeting.
of that meeting. And we are telling her, pay us our tea. because all the time for our tea you have taken it for your girlfriend. Can you imagine now? You as a man, you'll find even 5 you don't have. You try to narrow,
five is many.
You try to narrow, until you don't get. Ask your wife right now. She has like 13 of them. The inner circle is 13.
Her phone calls, as you say, ni 20 plus minutes.
I mean, yeah, so
watajuliana hadi saa ingine namuulizanga siwende tu direct to the point. Ati nimepigia huyu ndio ni nataka kujua kaa tuta attend forum fulani na yeye. Before wafike hapo kwa ku attend forum, 15 minutes down.
We really have a lot. We have a lot to do.